test, audio test, audio test. Okay. Probably should turn off the audio on the stream itself so we don't hear it in a loop. Okay. I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, there's already a vector here. I forgot the extern keyword does. What's the extern keyword do on to make it available to see? I think that's what it does. Yo, what's up, Matt Knight? Starting to just starting to get started here, I guess. Early morning here. Had my coffee, so hopefully I have some energy. All these people who know each other in my chat. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Want to debug? Okay. Just thinking about what we're going to do today. Well, mostly just want to cover implementing a game loop as a separate module to handle the game simulation, so it's not sitting in our main function, which it is right now, as you can see. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to break out. Well, yeah, I probably won't have a while loop inside a separate file. This is going to maintain. I'm going to maintain it here in the in main, and we can update the game simulation as many times as we need to. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think the main thing I need to do. Let me get back to my planning here. There's already a 2D vector available through Zig, but I do kind of want to have our own vector, so we're not limited to. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking about this for a second. Yeah, because their vector 2. So right. So their vector. Their 2D vector is a float. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Well, for now, I want to start laying out the game in a. Sorry, I just want to start laying out the file structure. Okay. So right now under a source folder, we only have the main file. So let's go ahead and add a new folder under this. This is gonna be game simulation, and under this we're gonna make a new file. What do we want to call it? That's kind of, You know what? For now, I'm going to get rid of this folder. What we're going to do is just make a new source file, top level for now. Game simulation.zig, and then we're going to add a new folder. Actually, we need another file. For now, we're going to call it utils. And under this, we're going to make a new file, math.zig. Well, we don't really have a code name for this project yet, so hopefully this won't collide with anything. And I just basically want a structure to store integer vectors. Okay, hold on a second. I think did I already take notes on it? Yeah. So we need something like this. Sorry. We're going to use int32s for now for our vector, and we're going to call it a vector 2D. So 2D vector. Okay. Usually you'd have something like a vector 2. We're going to call it int vector 2D. Okay. So we know this integer vector. And this is going to be a common struct we're going to use all over the game code, because we're not going to use floats. There's all kinds of issues with determinism and floats I'm not going to get into. And I have no interest in trying to solve those issues here on this project, so we're going to stick with fixed point math. Okay, so how do we make this available to other modules? Okay, well, there's actually two things I need to solve. Well, do we need to, if we use something like, if we want to include math.zig, what is it? We need to do something like this, right? Import. Well, this is importing a package. Yeah, actually, I need to investigate what import actually does. Put it in my zig notes. What does import do? So this actually adds it to the build. Okay. Zig source files are implicitly structs with a name equal to the file's base name with extension indicated. Huh. So declarations which have the pub keyword may be referenced from a different source file than one they are declared in. Okay. Path can be relative path or it can be name of a package. So it can be both. It can be a path and a package. Got it. Y'all can hear me just fine, right? Just to double check. Okay, so I'm guessing we can do, let's go back to main real quick. We should be able to do, if we want to do this, does that work? We just do that. And then we should have access to this. And, oh, thank you, Explosion Force. And in our game simulation, for now, we're just going to have a global function, something like, I don't know what these do. To be honest, I think it's something about catching errors, but any error here. But for now, we're just going to do, it's a function that returns void. Is this a stylistic thing for Zig, having the bracket on the same line as the function stuff? Just, I'm so used to in game development, we pretty much use this style of brackets, but capital only if you intended it to have fields. So it's interesting they're enforcing a style. Okay. Lowercase. Yeah, my brain is so wired to modules having um, ca camel case. It's hard for me to look at things otherwise. Oh, it's just a convention? Okay. I thought maybe the compiler would enforce it. What's it complaining about here? Oh, yep, just missing. Actually, this can't be const, right? Well, that can't be main, actually, sorry. Let's, let's see. Let's see. For now, we're just going to call it update game. I see. Hey, hey, Brylan, what's up? Oh, honey, I should like pull this up. So types are usually capital, so it has fields when it's like a type. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So function names are often lowercase. I got it. Yeah, I just want to see if we can get this working real quick. Expected a comma. So that's not going to build, right? Hmm. What if the compiler is going to be a better error? Yeah, it still says the same error, actually. So is this a problem using... So it wants it to be const. Or it has to be var. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this whole thing. Gotcha. Oh, var doesn't work either. Okay, it has to be const. So, yeah, that's what const actually does is a little confusing to me still in this language. Oops. So is it, and especially in terms of, I'm still complaining about. What's going on? Give me one more second. Oh, no, the error went away. Okay, cool. I'm still thinking a little bit how I'm going to structure this. Is there echo? There shouldn't be. The echo is probably coming from my room. I can't do anything about that. I don't think I'm actually playing the audio of the... Oh, I actually do have the audio playing. Okay, let me turn that off. I couldn't even hear it. Okay. Well, for now, I think the way I'm going to structure this is... Yeah. Okay, for now, I'm going to make a new structure here. Again, struct is... let's do this. We're going to put everything in the game simulation.zig for now. And... so if you do something public like that, so then I can do... what is it? Const int. Sorry. This is probably bothering people, so I'm just going to do this. uh, let's see, util slash math. Okay. In definitely in the game world, we like to use capital for things like modules or types or things like that, even functions. It's pretty common. Yeah. Okay, well, you're saying it's util slash math.zig because the documentation seems to indicate that. So zig store files are implicitly structs, so the name equal to the file's base name with the extension indicated. So that's why I'm. Do we really need? Do you need .zig? That's the part I don't understand. Okay. They seem to be pretty fast, but again, I haven't made a big project yet, so I can't even say, to be honest, as far as compile times go. Okay. But for now, we're gonna do this, and let's create a new structure that's not well, this one's gonna be public too. So public. Again, I have to keep checking this. Whatever. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy paste because I don't have the muscle memory for typing a lot of the syntax. So we're gonna create a game state. It's gonna store all our game, as it says, any properties we need to generate the next game state. Oh, sorry, I'm a little sleep. I'm still waking up. Okay. I see. It's either a package name or a file path, so it has to be .zig. Wait, so, whoops, not zip. So it's got to be like that too. Gotcha. Okay. So it's not going to be anything contained in the game state yet except the components for our game objects. So for now, I'm going to make, let's see, physics component equals struct. And physics component is just going to contain int vector. Oh, sorry, I have to start with the name of the variable, right? So position. What was it? This right? Yeah. A velocity. What's the problem? Oh, I don't use commas. Sorry. And acceleration. I don't need this. Gotcha. What's the problem here? And we're gonna have an array of physics components. Hold on. Sorry. Is this how I'm trying to remember the syntax for array. We're just gonna say 10 for now. Something like this. Sorry. So this doesn't work. Oh, we actually do need a semicolon here. So just to see if the stuff builds, right? I'm going to go back to our main loop here. So var game state. It should be game simulation. Something like that, right? That should work. And then we have, gonna have, this is a parameter here. So game state is going to be game state. So when I pass like this, is it going to be a copy? It only verifies so wait, if you don't reference something, it only verifies syntax, not semantics. Okay. I'm not entirely sure how you can not verify semantics. Okay, gotcha. So I don't have to specify address or anything like that here. I have to keep that in mind. So what is the preferred syntax? Does it have a space here or not after the variable name? Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure this stuff compiles real quick. Let's do down here before we draw. I'm gonna do so. Does all this compile? Is the question. Ours always const, so you won't be able to change game state. I see. All variables must be initialized. Okay. So I need to do oh yeah, how do I initialize? Sorry, just give me a second. Did I put that in my notes? Okay. Oh, this is how you do it, like this. Okay. Gotcha. Is there any way to default initialize everything to 0? Like, is this gonna work if I do? Hold on. So you can just do equals like this. You don't have to specify the type. It just infers it. Okay. You can add default initializers. Okay, but that doesn't work like that. Okay. Did I put that in my notes anywhere? They have methods. Hold on, so let's go back to the documentation. Default. Let's give default field values. So what you're talking about is the default field values. How's that syntax look like? Oh, it's just setting the value here. So it goes 0. Oops. 0. Gotcha. Now what I'm wondering, how does it work with non-basic types like structs? Like, is it just going to infer that these have a default initializer, and then it kind of creates a default initializer? I don't really understand that part. Let's see. Or do I have to do something like gotcha. So it needs to be oh, you can do that. Oops. So that's still not going to work, right? Oops. So sorry, just going to trying to figure out this whole syntax thing. So I can do something like this. The default initialize? No. I mean, we're coming from C, C++. So, like, yeah. C++ has so many different ways to initialize structs now. Like, throw anything at it and it just works. Yeah. So that's the way to do it. So I was thinking it would be something like that syntax. Okay. So that works, or should work. It's just maybe it's just taking a while to update the. It's not called IntelliSense, but what did I do wrong? What does the compiler say? Use of undeclared infinite update game. Oh, yep, that's the problem. Okay, so game simulation update game. Does that work? Oh, the way it works. Okay, it's good to know that like the language is consistent. There isn't like special case initializers for. I'm sorry, the syntax isn't different between the definition versus the implementation, right? No, I don't want to be. Okay, actually, this is kind of a structural thing about the program. For now, I'm not going to make any like classes with functions that, other than like accessors and things like that. I don't want to have state be stored in like a class with a bunch of different methods that may potentially modify the values. I just want to keep things simple and clear what's going on for this project. Let's see. Yeah, I just want it to be a global, I mean, a function within that module. What was the error it actually gave me? Unused function parameter. Oh, okay. You get an error for not using a function parameter. Got it. And you said I can't. How do I pass something as a variable that? Yeah. Yeah. I want to turn this into an actual variable. Oops. What's going on here? Is that not defined in my? Oh, duh. It's part of the package. I've still got to get used to this. I'm so like used to C style of like exporting types as globals, right? That everything imports. So yeah. We'll go back to functions. Okay. Pass by value. Okay. Let's read this a little bit so I can get a little more familiar with functions. Pass by value parameters. Primitive types such as integers and floats passed parameters are copied, then copy is available in the function. This is called pass by value. Okay. Copying a primitive type is essentially free and typically involves nothing more than setting a register, which makes sense. That's how it's typically done. Struct unions and arrays can often be more efficiently passed as reference since a copy could be arbitrarily expensive. Yeah. Okay, when the types are passed by as parameters, it may choose to copy and pass by value or pass by reference, which ways it decides will be faster. This is made possible in part by the fact that parameters are immutable. Okay. For extern functions, it allows for passing through. Okay. Function parameters may be declared with any type in place of the type. In this case, parameter types will be inferred when the function is called. Okay. I don't know how that works. But I'll pass on that for now. Wait, if functions can't modify their parameters. Does that mean I have to pass by pointer or reference? It doesn't really elaborate on that in the documentation here. Hold on. Okay, let's just look at the pointers real quick. So it gets two kind of pointers, single item and many item. Okay. So you define a pointer like this. The different syntax is this. So we define the type as. What's the problem with this? Oh yeah, okay. So it's unused for now. We're gonna have to use this anyway. So I'm gonna set this to I32. Let's equal to 0. Okay, still complaining about stuff. Anywho, and then we can dereference like game state. Is that gonna work? Nope. What's the error? Valid token. Wait, is there no plus plus? Is there? Oh, I can just do game state dot. That's cool. Oh, got it. Plus plus is not a thing in Zig. Okay. Gotcha. So this works? That's kind of cool. 31 on main. What did I do wrong here? I do like the errors are very readable though. Missing field, physics component. Components, okay. Oh, this is not, wait, oh yeah, so how do you default initialize an array of structs? Is that, let me look at arrays. So would it be something like, oh yeah, I saw that syntax before. It's a little tricky. And this works. This works inside of a struct definition. Yeah. Okay. Oh no. Still completely missing. Oh, this is still not default initialized though, right? I just want to default initialize all the structs if that's possible. So basically, sorry, I need to do something like gotcha. Okay, I was assuming it was gonna be something like that. Yeah. Okay. So this is yeah. This kind of syntax is a little more unfamiliar to anybody who's coming from like the C world or JavaScript world, I guess. Like C family of languages definitely doesn't do anything like this. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So you default initialize like that. Oh no, still more errors. What does it say? No member name frame get instruct. Did I mess up here? Wait. Expected type game simulation dot game state found. Found game simulation dot game state. Oh, gotcha. So I messed up here. So I need a pass by value. Sorry, pass by reference. I mean, it doesn't do it by default. So does that work? I like it in there. We're learning a little bit at a time. No member name frame count instructed. Okay. No member name frame count. Wait, is it because I'm doing this? Oh, yeah, I just didn't see it. Just didn't see it. Got it. No, I just wanted the member variable to be part of the game state. Hold on. What? 11, 11, 11, 11. What do we do? Oh, how did I mess that up? Just getting through some of the syntax issues is going to take a little bit of time. But once we get it, we have examples, so cool. So it builds now. Awesome. Great. Let's do this. Okay. We know that works. So what shall we do? What's on my list? Anyway, Johnny Marler, sorry. Thank you, Johnny Marler is very helpful. All your assistance. So, yes, not Zig notes. I want to look at planning. Okay. Then, okay. We kind of did this, well, already, right? Let's put that at the top for now. So let's split this out. We still need to make physics system. Okay. So what our physics system is going to do is just going to handle updating position, velocity, and acceleration. Well, acceleration won't be updated, but unless, well, there might be reasons to do it, but for now, just velocity and acceleration. Velocity depends on acceleration and vice versa. Position is updated by acceleration. Okay, well, position is updated by velocity. If I sound tired, it's because I am. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Okay, for now, we're just going to make the physics system just a independent function. We're going to move it into its own, potentially move it into its own source file later. But for now, we'll make a function physics system, and it's just going to take a single mutable component. For now, yeah. So, right, we're not going to actually call in each component. What we're going to do is pass in the game state, and we'll loop over. We'll get the components later. The way I'm going to want to handle this in the future is going to be different, but for now, we're just going to do it the most simple way as possible with direct access. So what I want to do is, this is shaking. I want to loop over all sorry, I want to loop over, that's just muscle memory there. I want to loop over all the physics components in the game state. So I forgot exactly the syntax. It's something like for game state dot physics components, and there's like, you can get like an index like this, I believe, something like that, right? I'm gonna double check that. The do I have notes? Yeah. Iterate over the array. Oh, that gives you value. Okay. Again, is this value going to be? This value is going to be const, right? I assume it's going to work the same way functions work. How do we just get index? So you just get a value this way. You know what? I don't even want to do it this way. So it's all cool. I want to do. Okay, this way it gives me index, but that's not what I actually want to do. What I want to do is we want a count of entities in the world for now. So we're going to have entity count, and 32 equals 0. And, well, for now we're going to start with one entity. We'll change this later. Oh, let's just say there's 5 for now. And what we want to do is loop 5 times. How do we do that? So these are looping over items directly. Is it a different way to loop? I mean, obviously we could do stuff like that, but is this how you're supposed to handle it in Zig, is use a while loop instead of a for loop? Like, basically what I want to do is something like this in C++, right? For int I equals 0, I is less than game state dot entity count I plus plus. Okay, just use a while loop. Got it. So I'll just have to do entity equals 0. Well, entity equals 0. Sorry. 32, and then while entity is less than game state dot entity count, entity equals entity. Oh, this plus equal 1. Got it. And then I can get, whoops, I want to do entity ID, entity index, just to be very explicit about what we're doing here. And then we'll do, so I want to get the component. I want to do something like component, something like that, but does that work? Like if I do this, is it a copy? This is going to be a copy, right? So I'm going to have to access it like this, right? Hold on. So it's a const. To make this clear, it's not a pointer to a const value. It's a const pointer, effectively. If I do that, right? Because I just don't want you don't want to be able to modify the reference. Okay. So oops. So I'm gonna have to add something real quick. Yeah, there's no. Yeah. There's no operator overloading, right? Because that's the big thing. I thought, isn't that like part of what makes, well, overloading is pretty, as far as I know, like controversial. I was just thinking about adding two vectors, things like that. I could just have like a function vector add, but yeah, there's no operator overloading. Got it. So that's a big part of Zig. Okay, so what would I do? What would be the best way to handle that? I wonder. Like, do I just want to expose? It's a good case for memory function on a vector. Okay, yeah, it's true. Okay, so I think one way I could handle it. Actually, how do I do a member function? I do want to. I do just yeah. I just want to try to add it just so I can get used to the syntax, right? Okay, you just make it pub like this. I got it. It's interesting because you have a comma, then you have this. Yeah. Yeah. So we can just do this. Also has to be pub, right? Okay. So does that work? Actually, I don't want to. Whoops, we need to return the value, right? So can we do this? Okay, that makes sense. No implicit this, right? I was just thinking about that. Okay. Okay. And then comma. Does that work? Then we could have something like component dot position equals component dot position dot add. Wait, is self going to be, is that there's syntax sugar for that, right? So I can just do component dot velocity. Okay, awesome. That's very helpful. Thank you. So the way I like to handle these kind of physics stuff, it's very simple. For fighting games is we're going to actually update our position based on what the velocity was coming out of the last game state, not the current value. The reason is velocity, how about it? So velocity is going to be updated by acceleration. And in the same way, the current velocity is updated from acceleration last frame. I guess I'll show you what I'm talking about. So velocity is going to be updated by acceleration, like this. Oops. I mean, I could do it the other way around. So basically, at frame 0, if we assigned acceleration of, I don't know, 10 or something, that means on frame 1, you know, the state we generate for frame 1, the next game state, we'd update velocity that frame, and we would update position, right? I guess it's kind of like, it's like, how do you want to think about it, right? Because it's not accurate to real physics in a sense, because you'd have to like integrate over that time step of 0 to 1. I find for like most purposes, this is, at least for fighting games, this is good enough for positional update based on acceleration and position. We might also have, we're going to have friction at some point, and that's another kind of worms when it comes to like, usually friction is just implemented by multiplying by a fractional value, but doing that could potentially introduce a desync if we're using floats, so we have to be careful about that. I'm not going to go into that right now, so we're going to avoid friction at the moment. But yeah, friction will be essential for a lot of stuff that gets done in fighting games. So it's like when you're running on the ground and you want the character not to stop immediately, you'll need to use something like friction or a deceleration in the opposite direction. But yeah, anyway, for now, we'll leave that alone. Okay. And cool. Let me see how we're doing on time here. Okay, got a few more minutes. Okay, let's just see if that runs real quick. Okay, it runs. So now what I want to do is, let me get rid of this. I want to display the changes on screen. So right now we have this code for setting the position directly based on input. What I'm going to do here for now is we're going to directly modify the velocity of the entity first. Well, we're going to get to that. For now, I just want to render the position. So what we're going to have to do is, instead of using the test object, we're going to have to get the game state dot and then the physics components, and we're just going to get the first entity for now, and position dot x. Okay. Having the autocomplete is really nice. I'm glad I set that up. Okay. So for now, we're just going to do this just to render the position, and it should be somewhere in the corner if it compiles. Oh, we got an error. Oh, we got that. We're unused. Great. I like that. We're going to get rid of this. We have source control. Don't need to worry about it. Oops. Wait, did I mess up there? Did I add velocity to velocity? Okay, cool. It's in the top left corner. That's great. So let me double check that. Oh, okay. Awesome. So what I'm going to do next, we're going to set the initial position of the object. So we're going to do it like this. Okay. We're going to set it to, what's it, math? Oh, do we get access to that? I'm going to have to actually import that, right? That's a good point. Or I'm just gonna, for now, I'm just gonna import it directly instead of worrying about exporting something that I'm importing from another module. Let's. Okay, where was that? Oh, here we go. So math dot in vector. We're gonna say, what was it? I don't know, 200. That should work, right? Okay, so we have an object that's like here somewhere. I'll move them over a little bit by default. Oh, too far. But anyway, so we have them here. Now what I want to do is update the position based on the velocity, which gets changed by pressing input. So let's do this. Oops, that should be. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the velocity. Right now we're going to ignore acceleration because that's going to be used for things like, oh, this is a shorthand. That's cool. I did not know that. Let's do that. Let's give that a shot. Oop, I did not type something right. Use undeclared variable test object. Oop, where is that? Oh yeah. Okay, I know what's going on there. So what we're going to do is, oh, okay. Just to, is that going to work? No. Okay. We're going to add a temporary. I don't know if this is good or bad practice, but entities, oh, it's going to be const. It's going to equal the address of game state dot this components dot 0. And then we can do what? If you're pressing left, we need to set the velocity to something. So entity, we can do, this works, right? Position dot x equals, well, it's not position, but velocity. Velocity equals -1. What does it complain about here? Oh, okay. And then this will be +1 +1. And otherwise, we're just going to set it to 0. Oh, my brain is just not working today. Okay. So this should move the object left and right when we're pressing left and right on the gamepad. Okay. Oops. And did not trigger. What did we do wrong? Well, let's just set breakpoints so that we can see if we actually make it here. Okay. We're going to step over. What is stepping over? Yeah. Let's look at the game physics component real quick, okay? So it looks like it did update that. So what was messed up? Is it in our game simulation? Let's go here. Oh, we can't set a breakpoint here. This is unfortunate. Oh, thank you, debugger, for reminding me. I forgot to even call the physics system. Okay. Okay. That's important. Oh, I have to be explicit. I'm so used to C and passing references. You know, just have to think of them as pointers. That. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I know it is a pointer. What am I doing? What did I mess up here? It's expecting. Hold on. What did I mess up? What is the actual error? Oh, it's here. It's in seems use expected type use size found I32. What did I mess up? Should be use size. Okay. I didn't realize you had to index things with a specific type of integer. Oh, we got a breakpoint still. Let's go. So yeah, as we're holding left and right, we are updating position. Cool. That's quite nice. Well, that's just kind of the basic demonstration of what's going to be a consistent theme here with our how we're implementing the gameplay code. We're going to be basically having systems which work explicitly on certain components, and components are only going to be state. I mentioned this before, but we're kind of reflecting ECS type system, but ECS type framework. But we're not going to get. I don't think I'm going to get into like the hairy details of making a proper, full-fledged, full-featured ECS for this project. I don't think we need to. We're just going to have object pools, and well, basically, the pools are the component pools themselves. But most objects in the game are going to have at least something like a physics component. They might not all have a action state machine. Like, projectiles will have action state machine. So, like, pretty much everything's going to have most components. So technically, it could just be one big, happy object. But I wanted to implement this way as both a demonstration of how to break these things down, and also I'm just curious myself to work in this kind of framework. So cool. And also makes it very explicit what things a particular block of code is going to actually change, right? Like if you're saying, okay, I'm only pulling down the physics component, then it's not going to modify some other property over here, right? Okay, so that works. Okay, it's not really, having terrible comments doesn't really help anything. So for now, we'll leave it as is, and yeah, I'll just commit that to source control. And mark things off on planning. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, I think that's going to be it for new stuff today. Yeah, thank you very much for everybody who came by. But yeah, I'll just leave it on for a little bit in case anybody wants to chat or say anything. And just while I'm doing that, I'll just do some cleanup. Let's see. Oh yeah, I did want to delete some unnecessary. Is there any unnecessary code left? Okay, no, there isn't. Okay, where was my documentation? So we create a physics system, create a 2D struct. We haven't done this yet, but we're gonna do that later. So, oh, we did this too. What gave me the idea of using Zig? So, in short, I was looking at a bunch of different languages to use as like for my own personal project. I wanted to have, well, let me go back a little bit. For my own game, I've been using Lua forever as kind of like the gameplay code scripting language, but it leaves a lot to be desired. So I was just thinking about, okay, what if I either use a language that I can compile into its own module and then link against my project. I just wanted something that was a good programming language, fast to build. Didn't have a lot of, so technically I could write all my gameplay code in C, but you know, I just got tired of dealing with all the issues with C++, and I just didn't want to have my gameplay code written in C++ because I couldn't iterate fast, right? If I start including external modules that have templates and the templates get used, it's just slow compiled. It's just it sucks. It just drags you down, right? So I was just looking around. I looked at potentially using like hacks and cross-compiling down to C or something. I looked at a few different languages. I looked at Nim for a while, but it seemed interesting. I think there's a few games implemented in Nim, but Nim is not, it's a Python style syntax. So I didn't want to have to deal with code blocks that are index based, right? There's no brackets. And the other thing is Nim's compiler, like the errors didn't make any sense to me at all. I just kept getting errors that were just completely nonsensical, or at least I didn't lead me anywhere. And I forgot where I saw Zig. People get mentioned as a C replacement, so I just checked it out and I made my own little test project, and it was pretty easy to pick up. So, well, as you can see, I've forgotten some of this syntax because it was like about a year ago. Well, not that long ago, but yeah, I did like a one-day little project with it, and I just found it to be quite pleasant to work with. So I just said, hey, okay, I'm gonna use Zig. I mean, for me, it was like, so I don't know if I'm gonna use Zig for my actual game in that context. I would like to. I'm waiting to see what the ecosystem develops to once they finish their self-hosted compiler. I'm really curious how fast that's going to be. I just watched that talk about taking a data-oriented design approach to implementing compiler code, just so you can speed up compile times, and it was really interesting. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what comes of that. And I have looked at Odin a little bit. Odin has a lot of cool features. And it's been used in real world context on some kind of special VFX package. But I didn't take the time to look in Odin more. I could have. I don't know their ecosystem. It seems a little more low key than Zig. At least the Zig community seems to be very active, and there's a lot of educational material already and stuff. And honestly, looking at the source code, trying to learn from the source code, it made it pretty easy to figure out or deal with any issues that came up. So even if stuff wasn't like properly documented yet. And I mean, right away, I can get things like syntax, highlighting, completion, auto-completion, and it seems all just to kind of work as long as you set up things. You spend an afternoon setting this stuff up, and it just kind of works. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I thought it would be easy to teach with it. So I think the only thing syntax-wise that like bothers me is because I just don't understand it. What does it come from? Is like the concatenation stuff with arrays, like the plus plus and the star star. The plus plus I can understand, but the star to star syntax for giving default values to an array, I don't quite understand where that comes from. So it was a little weird to me to get used to that. Where was that? Like this thing, the star star. Okay, it's like I guess it's kind of like concatenation or something, but it's not really. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyway, if there's any other questions or stuff before I sign off here, feel free, just go ahead and ask, and if not, uh, that's gonna be it. Though I guess I'll just submit this code while I'm waiting. Okay. There's no diffs there, but I want to look at a diff here. What is a diff? Oh, yeah, here. Oh, cool. It just pops up the diff. Nice. Okay. Okay, awesome. Wait, what? They should have these checked off. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Oh, okay. Weird. I don't know what's going on there. That should be good enough. Okay. So this should be pushed to GitHub. Anybody who wants to pull it down and build yourself, go ahead. So ** in means copy and concatenate this array n times. Copy and concatenate. Yeah, I just guess. I just don't know. Is there any other languages that use that kind of syntax? Because I'm just unfamiliar with it and like where it comes from. I just don't have an intuitive sense of how to use it, I guess. Can I do it the other direction? Sorry? Jalapeno bomber, not quite. Oh, okay, he's asking about the ** syntax. I gotcha. It's commutative. Interesting. Huh. I'm gonna have to read up on that more because something is not clicking with me. My brain is so stuck in like CLAN style languages that it's gonna be something I have to get used to. Oh, something from Python you could do something like that. Huh. Oh, you could just write it 10 times. Okay. Okay. So I should think of it as shorthand for being written 10 times, like, or X number of times. Hmm. Like, does it have meaning outside of the syntax with the brackets on the left side, the prefix, the type, I guess? Huh. Like, could you use it in other places in code? I guess it doesn't make any sense anywhere else in code other than for initializing an array. I can't think of like where you would. Yeah, it's only compile time. Cool. Yeah, that's great. That makes sense. Huh. All right. Well, Johnny Marler, thank you for asking or answering my questions, and thank you all for dropping by. I think I'm going to just finish up here. Gotta get ready for my actual job. But yeah, hope to see you all again if you're interested, and I hope it was somewhat educational. But yeah, feel free to pull down the source code, whatnot. And actually, I forgot to do this last time. We do have a Discord channel. We haven't really talked much in it, but it's just there as kind of like for posterity's sake. Let me get a link to that real quick. I'm gonna post it in the chat real quick. And the GitHub, I should share that as well, right? Yeah, and here's the GitHub link. Cool. Well, I think that's gonna be it. And again, thank you all for dropping by. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.